Hey, welcome to the Small Business Made Simple podcast, brought to you by socialmediaandmarketing.com.au. Being in business is never easy, but it can be simple, or at least simpler. Join me, your host Jen Donovan, every week where we focus on marketing, social media, and working towards simplifying your business. You with me? Let's do this.
Dream it big, 'cause someone out there listening. Everyone's got a voice to give, and it's time I heard you whistling, 'cause there's no point at all, in dreaming small,
Why, hey there, and welcome to episode 28 of the Small Business Made Simple podcast. For the next 3 weeks, I will be doing some social media platform audits. This week, I'm going to concentrate on Facebook, and the next two will be Instagram and LinkedIn. The idea is to ensure that you've got all your I's dotted and your T's crossed, and that your profiles and content are as magnetic as they can be for bringing in leads and people who might one day do business with you. If you want to get off to an even faster start, though, you can take my 5-day social media challenge and get ahead of the crowd. Just go to www.5daysocialchallenge.com.au and join up. Of course, the link is in the show notes as well. I come across lots of social media profiles on all different platforms, and I find that people have just simply set them up really quickly and started banging out content. What they've never done is go back and have a look at the first impression that they're giving to anyone who is landing on their profiles, whether it be someone's landing there for the first time or someone who has perhaps been in your world and is now digging a little bit deeper to see if you can actually help them with whatever their problem is. So when they come onto your profile, do they know who you are, what you do, and what you want to be famous for? Or, of course, importantly, what you can do for them. So buckle up and listen in so you can make sure that everything is schmick with you and yours. Of course, if you're out walking or shopping or in the bath listening to this, there is always the show notes at www.socialmediaandmarketing.com.au. You'll find them there. But first, let's do our discovery of the week. So this week, I've got a really good one, and it's definitely a discovery for me, and I'm just a wee bit excited to get in to use it and, of course, share it with you all. At the moment, I'm in the middle of head down, bum up, building my first digital course, Facebook Ads for Beginners. And with that course, of course, comes workbooks. And I wanted people to be able to fill in the workbook on their computer without dealing with different platforms that people might be on and different systems that most students might be using. And it was all just getting really confusing. But then I found this website. It's called pdfescape.com. So pdfescape.com, pdfescape.com, and it's basically a free PDF editor and form filler. Can I get you excited? Not only can it edit your PDFs, but it's a form filler too. So all those PDFs that you're sent, you can plug right in here and fill them out online, whether or not they've been made to be filled out online by the person who sent it to you or not. I think this is a real game changer for me in my business, and I can see so many different applications for it, not to mention filling out all those uni and school forms for my kids. I'm really hoping it will make my life simpler and yours too. As always, just a little disclaimer, my discoveries are just that, and I am in no way affiliated with them, but I promise to tell you if I ever am. I just have discovered them. I think they'll be useful for my business, or I love them and I really want you guys to know about them as well and make your life a little bit simpler too. Of course, if you have a discovery that you would like to share with me and my audience, I would love for you to do that. Anything that's making your life just that little bit simpler, send an email to me at jen@jendonovan.com.au or tag me at Small Business Made Simple on Instagram, and I will be sure to share it with everybody. Okay, so let's head into this week's episode, a Facebook audit. Now, if you can listen to this podcast at your desk in front of your computer, then that's great. It will be the best thing that you can do. But if you're not, that's okay. Everything will be in the show notes and you can just do the audit when you're ready. So for this audit, I'm going to go through the essential things that you need on your Facebook business page, and I will touch on some things that I think you need on your personal page as well regarding your business. But your Facebook page, let's dig in now. First, cab off the rank, your profile picture. Does it look like you? Is it brand consistent? Is it a recent picture of you? Would I recognize you if I saw it and then I saw you in the supermarket? When was the last time you updated it? And is it a consistent look across all your social media platforms? I know there's a lot of questions there, but let me break it down into some big don'ts, perhaps. First don't. Don't have a picture that doesn't look like you. I come across some profiles on social media and they're clearly hanging on to their youth. It is a picture of them, but it's a long, long time ago. You are doing no justice to yourself or your brand having a picture like this. Update it, embrace who you are, warts and all. The second don't, no glamour shots. Seriously, I've seen people use those types of shots, which I would call glamour shots, and they're looking more sexy than what they are looking engaging. And this is not the platform for it. This is a business platform, not a dating app. Plus, it makes you look less authentic when you post, for instance, a selfie or another picture of yourself, and you're almost unrecognizable because, you look so glamorous in your other photos and you just look like a normal human when you're posting another picture. Make sure that you are authentic in your profile pic. Second don't, no dogs, no pets, no partners. This picture is about you and your business. Think H2H, human to human. Obviously, if you have a team and you want to put your team in that picture, that's fine. I'm just saying you shouldn't really have your life partner in the picture if the business is all about you and they're not really involved in your business. And definitely no pets or dogs unless you are a vet or a dog groomer or something like that. You know what I mean. Just be you. Right. Second thing we're going to go through is your Facebook cover. What does it say about your business? What does it tell your prospects who's landed on your page? And when was the last time you updated it? This is prime real estate, peeps. It should say what you do in pictures and have a call to action. If you've got an event coming up, change it. If you've got a sale on, change it. If you've got something significant to tell or show or do or sell to your audience, change it. Okay, so now it's Facebook cover challenge time. If you click on your Facebook cover, does it have a link or a call to action? Does it have anything? This is the step that so many people forget when they change their Facebook cover, and it's a huge mistake in my opinion. If someone clicks on your cover, and just remember, it's the prime real estate of your Facebook page. If someone clicks on it, you want them to have something else to do, don't you? You want a call to action, but so many people don't have one. I've put a picture in the show notes to show you what I mean. It's actually a picture of mine, but I just wanted to show you what it is. So basically, if you're not sure what I'm talking about, then have a look in the show notes or click on yours and see what's in the right-hand side. If you have the words add a description on the right-hand side, then you have no description and you need to add one. It can be a bit of a call to action, like, to find out more, go to my website, click here, or I have this event coming up, click here. Whatever that, or download my ebook, click here, whatever that looks like for you. But you need to add a description. If you have a description in there, is it still current? Whenever you change your Facebook cover, you need to make sure that you then go and add a description to it. You can't do it as you're adding. You have to add a new one, and then you have to click on it and then add a description. You can add links here and be really creative with your call to action. Do not leave this space blank. Again, I can't say it often enough, it is prime real estate. It's a good idea to change your cover. I'd suggest maybe every few months or so. Canva.com has lots of templates to help you out with this. If you've never used Canva before, go there right now and start exploring. It is life-changing and you can definitely thank me for that tip later. Okay, so that's really the two big ones done, your profile picture and your Facebook cover. But just under your Facebook cover, you have a call to action button. On a computer, it will be on the right-hand side. On a mobile device, it will be under your Facebook cover. You can change this, and you should change it depending on what's happening inside your business. You have lots of options, so go and have a look and see which one is more appropriate for you at the moment and set that button up. For instance, if you have a shop, maybe you need a shop now button. If you have an event coming up, maybe you need a sign up button, and so on and so forth. But don't just leave it as the button that has been set and forget. So that's really my whole point with this, the whole set and forget. Change these things up depending on what's happening inside your business, and use these platforms to make them as lead generating as possible and make them as engaging as possible to prospects who are landing on your Facebook page. Now let's head down the list, because as admins, we can see on our Facebook page on the left-hand side, there's a bit of a list, and that's the list I'm referring to now. So on my list, the first thing that comes up is services. If you have services that you offer, put them here. Whether you have sewing services or courses you sell or coach offerings you offer, whatever service you provide to your audience, they go here. Remember to update them often though, as your business of course grows and changes. Again, no set and forget. We need to be going back and checking these things. So the next thing I have is reviews. If you haven't got any, it's time to ask for some. Reach out to some of your best clients and customers and ask them if they could leave you a review, or better still, start leaving them for businesses you buy from and businesses you use, and pay it forward. I'm sure it will come back to you. It always does. If you have bad reviews though, and this is something I discuss often with some clients, and perhaps these reviews are unfair and unfounded, you can turn off your reviews. So basically you go to settings, and then which is at the top right hand corner on a computer, go templates and tabs, and then reviews, and then turn off. If you can't see your reviews, then follow this same process and turn your reviews on. If you don't have any, then clearly you won't see them. Now, I'm just going to say here, your left-hand menu might look a little bit different to mine. You can turn on and off functions of this menu, and it sits right below your profile pic on a computer. By going into that templates and tab option that I was just talking about in your settings, that's how you can turn things on and off. And I do recommend that you go here, turn off the ones that aren't relevant for you. Like if you haven't got a shop and you'll never have a shop, turn off shop. Set up the ones that are applicable to you though. Like if you've never had a review and you want some, then turn on reviews so that people can actually give you reviews. If you have offers that you give to your audience, make sure that you have the offers tab set up, and so on and so forth. I'm not going to run through them all because A, I don't have time, and B, we have all a bit of a wee different sorts of businesses, and C, I've actually got a lot to get through that I really want to tell you about. But spend some time in there, so settings, templates and tabs, and have a look at all the different things you can turn on and off. But the next thing I want to talk to you about is the About section. So again, it sits below your profile pic in the left-hand menu on a computer. If I went to your About section on your Facebook page, what would I read? Would I read something? Would I read absolutely nothing? Would I read something that's engaging and relevant? Recently, I have to say, I was working with a prospect and we had a look at their About section. And their About section was telling me all about their achievements in 2012. Now, I'm really sorry, but it's 2019 and I'm not sure there's a single person who would care about how good they were 7 years ago. And again, it's a really important lesson. We can't set these things up and never go back and edit them, change them, or update them. I think every 6 to 12 months, we should pretend to be our own client and go through our social platforms and basically our businesses and see what other people are seeing what our prospects are seeing what they're reading, etc., etc. So I digress just a little bit. Your about section. Make sure that you have filled in as much detail as possible. Okay, so a couple of little pro tips when it comes to your about section. The first one is when it asks for your website address, you don't have to put your homepage in there. It can be any page of your website that you want. Be really strategic. Think about it. Again, if you have an event coming up, maybe put that URL in. If you have a shop on your website that you would like to direct them to, put that URL in. If you have an ebook or a downloadable document, put that URL in. Just remember to be strategic, but also just remember to change it back, especially if you've got an event. When the event's finished, make sure you go back and change your URLs, which means that you might have to diarize it or something like that so you don't forget. The second pro tip in the about section is your name forms part of the URL. So if you look at your page, your Facebook page, and again, I'm on a computer here, and you have your profile pic, and just below that you have a handle, like the @ symbol and a handle. That is what forms your URL. So if you look at that handle and you look up at your URL that's in your Facebook, you'll see that those two things are directly related. So if you don't have anything there, then you probably have a series of numbers and letters jumbled in your URL. So you need to change that. And you can do that in your about section just by making sure that you have that @ name correct. It's actually called a vanity URL. So make sure that your vanity URL is set up so that when people are searching for you, your business name is in the URL of your Facebook page. Just some caution though. If you already have it, changes that you make to it will destroy any links that might be out there. So say, for instance, if you have on your website your link to your Facebook page and you change that @ symbol, or you change your URL, then clearly there's going to be a broken link there. And if you've got your Facebook URL in any of your previous posts or in articles or on your blog, then clearly if you change it, you are going to break those. So be strategic if you want to change it. But certainly if you don't have one at all, make sure you do, and make sure it relates to your business. So moving right along, also in that about section is your story section. Again, I am looking on a computer here. And in that story section, you need to write something pretty compelling for your readers. But you need to remember the story isn't actually all about you. It needs to be about who you are trying to attract in your business, as in, how are you solving their problems? Why should they connect further with you? After someone has read it, they should not only know what you do, but they should know what you can do for them. So don't have in there, I do this and I've done it for so long and I've won all these awards and I. Have some of that in there, yes, but make sure you are talking in your buyer's language as well. Of course, in the About section, you can add your awards. You just click on that and add them. And frankly, you just start following the bouncing ball and filling out as much information as possible. So 2 more things I just wanted to run by you is that you can verify your email address through Facebook, and you can do that in your About section. And Facebook will just send you an email to make sure that the email you've put in there is legit. And you can also verify your page, which it is slightly different. You have to go to settings, page verification, and just follow the prompts there. Heads up, verifying your page can be a little bit challenging. I've had clients before that have found it a little bit challenging in the past, but stick with it. Fingers crossed it's super simple for you, but if it's not, just stick with it. And basically verifying your email address and verifying your page will just help with your authenticity and your legitimacy as a business. So also in the settings tab, so if you go to your page and you go to settings, there is people and other pages tab. And this is a little bit interesting. You can see who likes your page, when they joined up, like by date, and also who follows the page. You can see pages that you've liked and pages that like you. So it's a little bit interesting to watch the stats there of, have you had an influx of people come into, to like your page, and you might be able to trace that back to a particular marketing strategy that you had in place, and therefore you might be able to think, okay, well, if I run that strategy again, or I run something similar, then that could help me grow my page. Okay, so we're still in the settings section. So stick with me here at the Instagram tab. If you have a business Instagram profile, this is where you connect it. I love that mine is connected. It really helps with content creation and curation, and I love that it shares stories more than anything else. So it means that I don't have to do Facebook stories and Instagram stories. That shares between the two. A couple of final thoughts, suggestions, ideas while we're still in the settings tab. One of them is right down the bottom, you will see instant articles. So if you're writing blogs consistently, then you might want to look at setting up instant articles. What are they? Well, they're basically Facebook's way of keeping content within Facebook, so you're not redirecting your audience away from Facebook to, say, your blog page, and to give the reader a better experience. So basically, the article will load instantly, as opposed to perhaps if you directed them to your website, it would take 5 or 6 seconds for it to redirect and upload and be able to be read. So that's where it gets its name, instant articles. Now, this is not really an area that I have a lot of expertise in. I actually have had a lot of difficulty setting this up and working it into my business model. But if you're a blogger and an article writer, I do suggest that you have a look into it and see whether or not it suits you. In the show notes, I've actually got a link to a blog which talks all about instant articles, the pros and the cons. So go to my show notes, socialmediaandmarketing.com.au, and have a look and find that URL and have a look, have a read, and see whether instant articles is something that you would like to go through the process of setting up. Instant articles are one of those things that Facebook does, but doesn't make it easier for us, the curator of the content, but makes it really seamless for the end user, who I guess is their customer. And finally, in settings, there is cross-posting. So if you're an admin of several pages who have the same or very similar target market, then you can set up cross-posting so that you only have to post once and it will go to several different places. But if you really do have several pages with a similar target audience, think about merging them. It could actually make it much easier for you and much easier for your audience, and really help keeping your brand very succinct. So that's just a little thought, but cross-posting is a really great option as well. If you've never explored the settings tab in Facebook, spend some time in there. There's a whole lot of things that could make your life so much simpler. And I just don't have the time to run through them all. For example, one of them is if you're sick of Facebook notifications, then you can change how often you get them, and you can actually get them in bulk. Like how awesome would that be if you're one of these people who is often distracted by the ding sound of a notification? You can actually change how often you are notified about things that are happening on Facebook. So there's all those little things that sit in settings that, we can't run through on the podcast, but highly recommend that you spend some time in there. Before we finish up this episode, I just have a few more little tips for you. For instance, did you know that you could like a page as your page? So for instance, I could like a page as Social Media and Marketing Australia rather than liking it as Jen Donovan. It's great for branding because it puts your brand out there, because someone gets a notification that Social Media and Marketing Australia liked your page and you think, oh, who's that? And then you perhaps might be curious enough to go back, have a look at the person who's liked your page, or have a look at the business that's liked your page, and you might find that they then might start following and liking you and engaging with you. I do believe that you can only do this through a computer though, not a mobile device. And all you have to do is simply go to your page, go to the page you want to like, and up the top underneath their banner, there are 3 dots near the like, following and share menu. There are 3 little dots. Click that dot and a menu drops down and click like as your page. I think that is pretty cool. And just while we're talking about those 3 dots, if you're on your page, so the business page that you own, you run, and you're an admin for, you can click on those dots again, and then you can click View as a Page Visitor and see your page as someone who is an admin and how they would actually see it. Again, I don't think you can do this on mobile, or at least not at the time of recording this podcast. I think it's really fabulous to undertake a review like this and see what our prospects are seeing when they land on our pages. I can't do a Facebook review, of course, without talking about your Insights tab. This is so important. You should be really looking at your insights at least monthly. And I say that loosely. I really mean you should be looking at them at least twice a month. Insights sit at the top of your page on your computer. On your mobile, it's when you click into your page via the Facebook app, as opposed to the Pages app. Insights can tell you so many things, hence its name, Insights. In fact, it can tell you so much, it's almost enough for a whole other podcast episode. But if you've never ventured in there, here's some of the things it can tell you. It can tell you all about your audience, where they're from, age, how long they've spent on your page, best times for posting. It can show you your most engaging content, which then can help you curate and create more content that's similar, because you can see what people are really engaging in. It shows your story stats, which I think is pretty good as well. And you can actually nominate pages to watch. So pages to watch can help you compare the performance of your page and posts with similar pages on Facebook. Again, a really great tool for creating content. And also, at the moment, Insights does actually tell you all about your paid promotions, but I think that's moving at the end of July. So if you're listening to this after the end of July 2019 and you can't see your paid promotions in your Insights, it's probably because they have actually moved into your actual ad settings as well. All right. So here's my challenge to you. Schedule out 10 minutes in your diary twice a month to look at your insights. You'll learn so much more about your audience and what they find most engaging and when they're engaging with it. And you'll be able to really create some great marketing strategies to match what you're learning. So when people say, who is your who on social media, you won't be guessing. You've actually got the stats and the insights to back up what you know. So one of the questions I'm often asked is, what is the best way to schedule Facebook posts? What app should we be using to schedule Facebook posts? So my recommendation is right in Facebook. If you're scheduling posts for Facebook, do it natively on the app. It gets better algorithm and it's so easy. On a computer, basically you just go and do a post, and instead of pressing post, click the little clock down near the word post and schedule it. So to do it on the Facebook app, you just do as you would normally do and press continue, and then it will say, when will this be published? And you can choose your time and schedule it, or it will actually say share now, and you could click it and change it that way. So depending on whether or not you're going through the Facebook app in your Facebook page, or whether you're going to the actual Facebook page app. So I'll say that again. You can go through Facebook to your page, or you can go to the Facebook Pages app, and they just look slightly different. Just a bit of a heads up though, you can't see your scheduled posts through the Facebook app. You do actually need to use the Facebook Pages app. If you haven't got the Facebook Pages app, I suggest you download it and set that up, because it will make your life a lot easier if you're the type of person who's scheduling posts. I think we've covered enough for one podcast with Facebook Pages. I'm sure you've got lots of work to do, but before I go, I'm just going to touch a little bit on personal Facebook profiles. So with your Facebook personal profile, if you want people to be able to find you or find your business via your personal profile, then you need to make sure that your personal about page is optimized for that too. So basically, with your personal profile, you can obviously add where you work, and you can add that page as a link as to where you work, but you can also add lots of other connection points in your contact information. For instance, you can add your business phone number, you can add your Skype link or your YouTube link or your LinkedIn profile, your Instagram link, your website, and just about any other website that you can think of. So I believe you get a link to your website, a link to Instagram, and maybe a link to Skype. And then after that, you get 3 more websites that you can direct to. So for me, I've got YouTube, I've got LinkedIn, and because of the podcast, I've also got Spotify as well. So just go through them and just make sure you are maximizing the amount of connection points that people can see and the channels they can get to you, even if they're on your personal profile. If you are your business, then it's really wise to optimize here. Of course, if you want to keep your personal profile private from business, then simply don't do any of these things. But it is another way to drive leads and sales and have that human-to-human connection. So that's a real decision that you need to make. Are you prepared to have your business mentioned on your personal profile and having people looking at that and connecting with you through that avenue as well? Totally personal preference, up to you. So, wow, that was actually quite the episode, wasn't it? I hope you got lots and lots of gold from it, but that is it for episode 28. If you have any queries or questions or thoughts, tips or tricks, let's continue the conversation in my Facebook group, Like-Minded Business Owners. Of course, I will be back next Thursday with more marketing know-how and another great discovery. If you're enjoying this podcast, make sure you subscribe so you never miss an episode and you don't want to miss the episodes all about LinkedIn and Instagram in the next couple of weeks. And maybe even if you enjoyed this one, you could share it with a friend. I would really love you to take 2 minutes out of your day and leave a rating and review, because those things are like gold for podcasters like me, and it really helps other small business owners get to know that this podcast exists as well. And just saying, if you've already left a rating and review once, you can do it again. So my small business peeps, remember, as my opening song says, there is no point in dreaming small.
If you feel lonely, say it loud. There's no time like the present. Tell it like you feel it, say it proud. Be true and let us see you for the star that you are. No point in dreaming small.